Hello and welcome to our bulk mailer overview. This demonstration is designed to highlight the major capabilities of the bulk mailer product from Satori Software. I'm Rob Perrin, the Director of Merchandising for Satori Software, and with me today is Randy Walker, our Solutions Engineering Manager. Hello, Randy.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I understand you've got a great demonstration for us today.
Yes, I plan to show how easy it is to use the bulk mailer program, even if you haven't seen a mailing program before.
Fantastic. Well, if you're ready to go, let's go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. All right, so now I'm sharing out my screen here. Rob, you can see that?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the bulk mailer home screen. When you open up bulk mailer, this is what you're going to see. Right here are existing mailings that you have done previously. You have this navigation bar down the side that's very intuitive, and it's a step-by-step approach, so you get the linear feel out of it. Down here is the data details. This is kind of your compass or your navigation where you'll see where you're at any given time. And I'll go through that as I proceed with this demo. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double-click on the mailing wizard. You'll get a familiar welcome screen. You'll see that this wizard has the same look and feel throughout the bulk mailer program. It's very intuitive. It'll walk you step by step on how to create a mailing and do the various steps that are needed in order to get automation rates from the post office. So I'm going to create a blank mailing with this file, and I can give it a name here. So for this one, I'm just going to give it a demo name. I'll just call it Demo 1.1. I've already got one of those. Okay, so you'll see it's highlighted here, and then if you look down in the data details, the mailing, it shows up as it's open right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is import my records in order to mail with. So to get started, I'm going to double-click on the Import Wizard. And if you'll notice, there's line items here as well. Those line items are templates that can be used over and over again if you're doing reoccurring mailings. So now I'm going to select a file to use. And I'll just grab a common delimited demo list. I'll click Next. Here's kind of a raw preview of the data within the preview pane. If I click on this first row contains field names, what it's going to do is it's going to use the column headers in the very next screen in order to map the data to the appropriate fields within bulk mailer. If it didn't map the field, I would just simply click on whatever field it was and associate it with the bulk mailer field here. Since everything's mapped, I can just go ahead and click Next. And here's that template, or the concept of a template like I was talking about just a minute ago, where you can save this for a reoccurring mailing. So if I was getting that Excel list in the same format each time, I could just go ahead and save that as a template and save myself steps. Okay, so it's imported the records. I'm going to go ahead and close the dialog here. And you'll see down in the data details that it actually has imported 2010 records. So I can go to the View section and I can look at the records. Looks like everything comes in correctly. So the next thing is just continue down this navigation bar over here. And now I'm going to go ahead and correct the records. So I have two options here. The first option is I can run through address correction, or I can run through Move Update, which is the National Change of Address database, at the same time when I do the address correction portion of it. So that's what I'm going to do. We have an unlimited option available with bulk mailer, so you can run as many records through as you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and click Next on the welcome screen. I'm going to log in. I'm going to go ahead and select which client I'm going to use, so I'll go ahead and click Next. And now I have my matching logic. This very first option here is default, and it's going to look for all moves possible. So there's not much I need to change here. I'm going back a full 48 months, so it's going to use the full service license that we host from the post office. Here's standardization options. Again, the defaults are oftentimes the best case here. Any option on this screen is completely acceptable by the USPS. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. And then I'm going to hit Finish. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to make a connection to our servers in a secured fashion. It's going to process the data in real time through and output the results back into the file for me. You can see the totals adding up here. So essentially what it's doing is it's correcting the addresses, bringing me back the new address. And you can see the old address after it was address correction or the CAS certification was applied, the new address, and what type of move. So there was 14 moves here. I'm just going to go ahead and accept all. And then if I wanted to, I could print the PDF. You'll see it's a nice, easy to read facsimile of CAS summary report, and then also the NCOA link summary report. I click Next and Close. So the next thing I want to do after I've processed the list through the move update or the NCOA to satisfy the move requirements from the post office is I'm going to pre-sort my list. So I can, again, use a template here if I've already set one up in order to apply the pre-sort attributes. So if I double-click on the Mail Sort Wizard and click Next on the familiar welcome screen, you'll see that it's very intuitive, step-by-step, and it's going to walk me through applying all the postal regulations that I need. Bulk Mailer is going to take care of all of that behind the scenes, so you don't have to worry about any of the tricky postal regulations. So I'm going to select a standard mail letter here, and again, if you don't know what size the mail piece falls under, we have this legend here, so if it's in between these minimums and maximums, then it'd be a letter, or here's the flat. And again, you can select what the appropriate mail piece is. So here I'm going to put in the dimensions of the mail piece, the thickness and the weight, so all the characteristics of the mail piece I'm going to mail. We can also click the Select button, and I can just pick what type of a letter is, and Bulk Mailer knows all the common letters and flats and envelopes. So I'm going to click Next on this screen, and now I'm going to associate the mailing permit that I'm going to use, the mail drop zip code, any other information that I want to put on here, and click Next. This screen here is for mail.dat. So if you had a mail.dat, you would put in your information here, or we also support mail.xml, and I'll show you how you can directly upload your mail.dat or mail.xml after we're done pre-sorting directly to Postal One. So you'll pick your sort levels here, non-automation and automation. I'll click Next. You can choose to apply ACS, full service. The software comes fully equipped in order to allow you to get the best possible postal discounts that you're able to achieve. So I'm going to drop it at an SCF here in Phoenix. Click Next. For my metered mail, I'm going to use Calculated, which will calculate the minimum postage so I don't have to continue to change my meter. And then the last screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. It's going to apply all those PAVE regulations. It's going to pre-sort my list and put it in order to where all I have to do is print it out and put it into the trays. Okay, so it's printed those out. What I'm going to do is show you the reports here. We have the mail sort summary. That's an unofficial report, just all the settings that were applied. Here's a really easy to read facsimile report of the postage statement. You just take this down to the post office if you're not doing full service, and they would accept your mail. So now to submit mail to Postal One or electronic document, I can go to the Submit task and click Start. At this point, then I have the option to upload a mail.dat or a mail.xml. Mail.xml is probably the simplest and most efficient way to submit your mail to the Postal One, and Bulk Mailer takes care of it for you. So I'm plugged into the test environment, so I'm just going to cancel here. However, you would have a login to the actual Postal One account, and it would upload for you. Lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the print mail section, and I'm going to open up a print mail template, and this will allow me to print directly within Bulk Mailer. So if I preview this, you'll see here you get a standard address block, maybe a return address, put in your permit information, or in this case it's metered, so you would handle that appropriately. But you'll notice it's in sorted order. You get your intelligent mail barcode. All you need to do is print this, put it in the trays, and take it down to the post office in order to mail your bulk mailing. And so from a high-level overview, that's essentially all you need to do with bulk mailer in order to do an automated mailing. It's very intuitive, simple to use, secure, and it's powerful. You can cover any class of mail with this and mail out all of the common types of mail pieces that you're used to.
Randy, it seems
Rob, do you?
Go
ahead.
It's simple enough that even somebody like me could do this, but at the same time, I noticed that you mentioned mail.dat in there, so this must be a pretty powerful program.
Yeah, it definitely can get very powerful. You can do mixed weights. You can do parcels. You can also do the very simple standard mail, first-class mail, and essentially, yes, it'll generate your mail.dats if you're going to do more complex mail, or again, you can keep it very simple, submit your mail.xml directly through here, and Bulk Mailer will walk you through the entire process.
So it seemed to flow well. It had a very familiar look and feel, almost, familiar is probably the right word. It felt like I knew what to do next as you were doing the demo. Has that been your experience when you're walking new users through it?
Yeah, I find that the learning curve for the Bulk Mailer is very minimal to none. It's got a very intuitive way that you walk through the navigation bar. All of the wizards walk you step by step through on what the next step is, and it's very easy to use.
Fantastic, Randy. Really appreciate that demonstration. How about next steps at this point? What would somebody want to do if they were interested in pursuing this as their mailing software?
Well, there's a couple of options. The first thing I would do is contact our sales department and get scheduled with maybe a more in-depth demo, or else just talk to one of our sales reps, and they'll explain how to acquire the software, and they're very knowledgeable as well. They can walk you through demos and also how to use the software.
Perfect, and that number is on the screen. Do want to thank everyone for attending today. Randy, thank you so much for the demo.
Absolutely, and thanks everyone for joining.
From all of us here at Satori Software, I'd like to thank you for watching this demonstration. We hope that it was both useful